I know in my heart now, I lived for years with the worst enemy within myself, a critic. How many of us have been in that place? There's something different now in recent times for me. Most days I don't live with my critic anymore. I live with my guide. I live with a guide now. Now, yesterday I think I failed massively. And I think I had more of an episode yesterday. For years I have had the diagnosis of bipolar and borderline personality disorder. There is definitely a difference there. But it definitely has, it took so much control over my life for years. And I live with gratitude every day now. And peace mostly. Yesterday I was out with family and I got in a zone again. And although the thoughts weren't rapid like they were before, I was still in that place where I wanted to run away so badly. And it wasn't from my beautiful family. It was me. It was something within myself, and it was so frustrating. Yesterday I got home, and honestly, during that time I wanted to cry the whole time. It's like, my brothers have families, have young children, they're so beautiful. And then my dad was there, he's 80, and his friend, she's 80 as well, Jeannie. And you have people from all different walks all different ages, from a baby to someone in, their golden years. And I couldn't be there. I was there. I wasn't there. So maybe it's best sometimes when you feel like you're not doing the best to trust your intuition and just maybe it's just not a good idea for me to be around people today. I took today off of work too, just to be within my own realm. Sometimes that's okay to do. It seems like the greatest teachers have struggled the most. One of the men that I listen to, Michael Singer, he dealt with a lot of I don't think he talks about it, but a lot of things within himself. And now he's a great teacher. Who else? There's so many. There's so many great teachers that have had their struggles, but are here and are awake. Doesn't mean they don't have blunders along the way, because we most certainly do. But the thing is, when you're in the midst of something so deeply burden-ridden, whatever it may be to you, because I tell you, somebody may not think it's not important to them, or they don't understand it. I definitely have had those looks in my life like, what is wrong with her? Maybe they weren't thinking that at all. But most people act out of love. Most people do. And if they don't have it within themselves at that time. So it's good to be compassionate to people that you may not understand their behavior. Their behavior does not mean, it's not who they are. Their behavior is not who they are. So I was listening to something so beautiful. Tara Branch, I listened to her. She's a spiritual teacher. She was interviewing, Rinpoche. Goodness, I cannot pronounce his first name to save my life. But this is my awful handwriting. Yeah, probably can't see it. I'll link it in my YouTube, who I'm talking about, but she was interviewing him recently, and he's written 3 books, and he dealt with a lot of anxiety as a child, a massive amount of anxiety. And his dad was a Buddhist teacher and meditator at the time. And he said to his son when he was about between 9 and 11 years old, he was like, when you go up the Himalayan mountain, do you like the skies up there? And Rinpoche said, oh yes, I love the skies. And his dad said, what do you think when the storms come? And he said, oh, I don't like storms. I don't like the storms. And his dad asked him, do the storms that come change the nature of the sky? He said, no. They're just there and they leave. No matter how strong the storm that comes, it will never change the nature of the sky. We all of us have an innate inner sky. So no matter how many storms come, it doesn't change the inner sky that we have. There's 3 things that it's built out of: awareness, love and compassion, and wisdom. This was very, very filling for me to hear, because it is true. When we see people with behavior that we don't understand, or maybe we don't understand in ourselves, to get past that point, knowing that you are not the storm. You are not the storm. You are much more than that. Trust and befriend the weather systems that come. You are not those systems. They are changing, not your essence, my dear friend. Tara Branch, I really enjoy her. They talk a lot about presence. And I don't know about you, but I've lived most of my life in like forward thinking, constant forward thinking, or backwards thinking. And that's even worse because you can't change that. Well, my goodness, you can't go into the future and, it's just being here now and appreciating what we have right now, the beauty of it. It's funny, I see more beauty in like the clouds and the trees and everything that is so just watching people and how they interact. We don't have to be a part of it, but we see it and we kind of smile. Unless we're in a bad state, then we cannot. It's harder to. Like, for example, for me yesterday, where it was so, I just felt so awful yesterday. Like, it's better today. So you just have to keep going. But I had a lot of blessings today already happen. I'm going to get my tooth worked on, and somehow it worked out that they got the forms and all that stuff. And it's all those simple things that we miss, that we really get anxiety about. Just taking it one step at a time. So behind all the bad emotions, fear, anger, jealousy, envy, all of the emotions that we could ever feel, that all of us do, with no doubt, to deeper extents or lighter extents. All those really are basically, we want to be free from suffering. And the basis of that is love. We want to be free of suffering. We just want to be full of love. Though we may not feel that sometimes. And compassion is a want of freedom from suffering and obstacles. But we all have these things innately. Awareness, which takes time, being aware of ourselves and what we are made for while we're here. Because we are certainly made for something. If we are alive, we are made for something, and that is service. To give what we can, when we can. Certainly we can't give all the time. So loving, compassion, and wisdom. I just think that's so special. It's so true. So I'd like to end with a quote from Tara Branch. The suffering we experience is when we leave the present. The suffering we experience is when we leave the present. How true is that? When our mind gets so scrambled and we keep forward thinking and, oh gosh, this is going to happen, oh gosh, instead of just being here right now, whatever it may be. I guess everything is mutual until we give it meaning. Some things suck. And then some things are great. It depends on how you view it. Goodness, I hope you find peace within yourself. And it's just not going to happen all the time. I hope the best for you in your journey, my friend, wherever you are in this life, whether you are just starting or you're in more your golden years. I hope you know you're important and you are loved and you have love within yourself, and it can be challenging sometimes to see that, especially when you can be in the depths of something, some hurt and pain. Blessings to you, dear friend. Please take care today. Give yourself grace today. When it's hard to, give yourself grace even more. You know, I kept thinking after I left that dinner, I'm like, oh my goodness, you know, I just kept thinking like I used to, like, going over every single little thing. And oh my goodness, what is that going to get me? I mean, nothing, just stress. So anyway, I just said, give yourself grace. Give them grace too. You weren't too awful bad, and they probably didn't notice. And just wish the people love, and wish yourself love. Okay, maybe I'm getting too carried away now. I love you and many blessings. If you have any comments or anything you want to add to this, please let me know from your own struggles. You know, I could always use guidance too, you know, if something has helped you. We're all in this together. All right. See you guys later. Love you.